Ladies and gentlemen, another video from the workplace as we hear yesterday from Sam Edmund suggesting that for the right price, Bobby Hill is gettable. And the wording across the board of the club seems to be inconsistent, or at least the message these journos are receiving from whether it be board members, player agents, and whatnot, because one side of it says that Bobby's management group have not reached out to other clubs to inquire, but other clubs are saying something else. And then are there members internally suggesting, hey, if you want Bobby for the right price, he's gettable. And then you see the clown comes back. It's back in vogue. The clown emoji, Bobby, with the black and white, comes into the comment section on 7AFL and says, this is another just clown-like comment. We only have to go back a week or so ago where Bobby stood tall and said in response to Tony Shaw suggesting that Collingwood should look at using Bobby Hill as good fodder. Bobby Hill responds with the clown comment, and that gives you that peace of mind, knowing, all right, Bobby's in the right headspace. And then you see a post literally an hour later of Bobby saying, this year wasn't the year, lots of ups and downs, and more to come next year in the black and white. So the thing is, right, with all this, like, we can celebrate Bobby standing up and putting out in the public that he's here to stay. But was there not a conversation that John Ralph raised that if Bobby's kids are to go back to Western Australia, what does that mean? That there's a chance he may have to follow his family if they were to go back home. So, and we talked about this in Bobby Hill's, what happened in Bobby Hill's exit interview. It's one of those things, it's like, Bobby, what are your intentions? It's all well and good. You want to be here next year. That's great. Love that. But if we are to get the most draft capital out of you now to facilitate a trade, you'd probably rather trade Bobby away now rather than at the end of next year when you don't know what his stocks look like. Right now, you're definitely getting a first round draft pick for a Bobby Hill to go to a West Coast, for sure, no doubt. So that's something we need clarity on. And we as fans won't get that. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Bobby's been pretty transparent on Instagram, but it's clown emoji there, it's black and white here. I love it. But and it would be a difficult off season thinking about potentially losing Myercheck, potentially losing Jamie Elliott and Bobby Hill all in the same window. That would destroy our forward line. And yes, it gives opportunities to younger players, but to lose 3 players that would kick you 100 goals every year, what? Billy kicks 60, Brody kick 40, Bobby gives you 30, can give you 40 in a really good season. So it's a lot of goals to make up for. So you'd like to think that we wouldn't want to let go of all these players at once. So then it comes back to, okay, if the question to you guys is, if Bobby is intending on leaving, are you willing to ride with Bobby until he says, I've got to go? Or do you take a step back and go, all right, what can we get for you now versus what can we get for you at the end of next year? What will letting Bobby go now enable us to do for this off season or the next, which is important to consider? It's a messy one because there's a lot of mixed signals. Clubs are putting feelers out. Bobby's player management is apparently having none of it. Board members or someone internally is leaking that for the right price, Bobby is gettable. So where do you go with all this? I guess this is the silly season. This is the off season. These are the ebbs and flows that we've got to ride the waves of. We have Friday night being Copeland Trophy night, the Collingwood BNF night. So we'll know more about Jamie Elliott after. We'll know more about Brody Majacek. I'd love to get some more information on what's going on around the Bobby situation. Like I said, I love that Bobby is publicly putting through these emojis on Instagram, but like, context is still important, right? Like that might just be suggesting, yeah, I'm here next year, 100%, not going anywhere else. But from a business side, from a list management side, you've got to ask the question: do you want Bobby? Do you want to consider offloading Bobby now to get picks, or do you ride with him until he says go? That's the fundamental question that I ask you guys, is like, do you just ride with him? Do you just hope that he stays, or do you potentially shop him around now while he is of top value? And we don't know what that value looks like at the end of next year. That's what I think we have to take off the black and white glasses for a second and just look at this. I'm not saying it needs to happen one way or the other. It's just for me, if Bobby says to me, hey mate, I want to be here so long as my family's here, our question is that, are you going to uphold your contract? Are you going to stick through the contract, or are we talking you could be gone next year? What is the context? That's why I'm needing a little bit more clarity, a little bit more information around this, and we might not get it. So make a judgment call, and this is the the beauty of it all, not being inside the four walls. We get to talk about all the hypotheticals and speculate around what may or may not happen. But ultimately, I just want to know, how do you feel? How do you feel with all the mixed signaling happening at the moment? You know, from the horse's mouth, it seems like he's not going anywhere, but then you're hearing from John Ralph at some point in the off season that if things change, if the living situation changes, he might bounce. I'm curious to get your thoughts regarding all of that. It's an interesting off season, guys. It really is. We're definitely culling a lot of the older players. There's going to be younger players next year who are definitely going to get opportunities. But I don't think, in the same breath, it's like, okay, let's say Bobby is only going to stay for a year. I then say, fuck, I mean, would I really want to lose Brody, Jamie, and Bobby in the same window? But then again, in my mind, Jamie Elliott's staying. But we will hopefully know a little bit more about player commitment, because unrestricted or free agency opens on Friday. The BNF night is on Friday. So I think over the weekend, we'll have a very good idea of where Brody and Jamie stand. And until the live stream tonight at 6 p.m, ladies and gentlemen, go Pies.